And good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to January 9th, 2026. Ooh, 9/18/27. We're close to a third of the way through the month. How is everybody doing on this fine Friday morning? What are we talking about today? Today, talking about January. January being the slow season. And how it can be the slow season on purpose. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the different things that happen in January, how we can deal with January, and what we can how we can make January a better January for us. Now, if it's your first time here or your long time here, and you know who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, what the weather is in your area. It is cold and windy. We had the rains pass through, did not turn to snow, did not have crazy storms, but the wind, and it is soggy and cold, and it is January and it is not snow. So I will take that. Peach vibe, rocking the peach vibe this morning. I thought maybe I'd do some coffee, but I haven't went that far yet. So peach vibe there. And as far as five things, we got meetings galore today. Because Friday we try and save that for catch up for the week meetings. So we've got a good handful of meetings with that. We've got some artwork for approval. We've got I'm looking in the queue for stuff that we are building out for rhinestone designs. And let's see, there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I've got 65 pieces of artwork that's in the queue for rhinestones, and look for those. Like I said, I told you 26, we're really pushing hard for that. So looking at these, we've got Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day. We've got what else is in there? Heart Awareness Month. We've got Black History Month. We've got what else is over there in there? What am I missing? Mardi Gras and St. Patrick's Day. So those are all there. And then we're going to throw in um, some other stuff, for spring sports, all that we're getting in there with it. So pretty excited about all that stuff coming up. And yeah, now we're planning because next month, Chinese New Year, making sure everything falls around that. So, always good times with that. Barb, good morning. North Central Minnesota, 13 and sunny. Hot spiced tea with raw honey in the cup. Five things. Invoicing, DTF, digitizing, press hoodies, embroidered beads. Barb's got a good day for her. Good morning, Jerry. Renee, morning, 33 from soggy Chicagoland. Water and bottle, working on the rest. Hi, Barb. Yeah, like, I would much rather have rain in January than snow, but man, rain just makes everything just. I will go that way. What's up, Chuck? Good morning to you from sunny central of Florida. Hi, Renee from Barb. George, good morning to you. Hello, Renee and Barb from Jerry. Oh my God, it's Jerry. Morning, all. Wonder if Jerry will find us here today. Probably not. We'll spend a while and see, but I think she should. Pasha, good morning to you. She beat you. Yeah, look at that. She beat you. And that there. Let's see. I'm getting Todd, not Ted, but hey, I'm getting on another computer. Can you guys send me the steps to set up? Yeah, go ahead and email in. When customer service gets in, that's what you do is go through there. They'll get you wrapped up in the net. So yeah, customer service. Walk through, email in with your info. They'll get you rocking and rolling. Jeff's got 61 there in northern Kentucky. Windy and yeah, the wind. Wind just I we can go on a tangent about old man yelling at the cloud. That's me anymore with wind. I'm not down with the wind. Five things: work on logos, just 3D model for Beveler, order Beveler bid. I need to know more here. 3D print clean if there's time. Don't forget 213, my birthday. Well, what do we do for rhinestones for your birthday, Renee? What am I supposed to make? I'm not sure. Like, if I had to go through it, is there a cake and is there a heat press? Is that what it is? Cakes and heat presses? Like, what was that? What am I doing there? I don't know what I'm doing there for it. I'm not sure what I'm doing. So yeah, so we got rocking and rolling. Overall, we got a good week, and we're looking to continue that next week. I noticed that some of the images didn't get posted from Tuesday night on, well, Wednesday or yesterday, so I got to go figure out why that happened, because they should be scheduled to go. So showing off the new stones, and then trying to get stuff wrapped up so that way we don't get stuck behind the Chinese New Year. So yeah. Oh, that's right. You made the contraption to hold the Dremel so I can bever clothes. That's right. I remember that. And wine. Yeah. So I need baking, wine, heat press, right? Baking, wine, heat press. Now, do I need a 3D printer in there too? Like, how does that work? A day in the life of Renee, and it's thinking, and then it's spreadsheets, and then I was going to say wine, but it's too early in the morning for wine. So then coffee, and then we got 3D heat press, baking, wine, more spreadsheets. Is that how that would work? I think so. I think that's how I would make it there. Yeah, yep, we got that. Yeah, 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 yeah. I did click that, right? Jerry, sending you some hot tea with honey inside comes very nice. And laser. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we gotta have that laser label. Pew, 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 pew. Then we'll be good to go for it. So I got it. See, I know it's there. We got something headed our way. I By the end of the month. By the end of the month, pretty cool. When it gets here, you'll see the reveal. You'll see the fun with it. We sent off other things for lease agreements. So we'll see if how those come back, because it's not that we're pitting two against each other. We just had two that were right about came about at the same time. So we're just seeing, what's the better opportunity for us. So a lot of hopeful, fun stuff for January. And if you were going to Impressions Expo at the end of the month, let me know. I'm not going, but Corey's going. Corey and April are going to go to Impressions Expo at the end of the month. We've come to realize is we bought ourselves a job, so we both cannot travel. So my place, April, who helps us out a lot in the store, packing orders, pulling orders, sorting things, organizing. She's going to go see your first trade show. So the girls are going to go do that. So if you're out there, yeah, she would love to, she'd love to chat with you, see you guys there. So, yeah, what do you say? Yes, I have printed it. Each version shows I need small adjustments here and there. That's how it works, right? That's how it works. I think that's the amazing thing about 3D printing. Idea, life, don't have to worry about it, and then go from there. So I'm digging it. I am digging it. Okay, so January. Is it me, or can January really mess with a lot of people, right? Especially after like a crazy December. Because it's like 1 week you were just buried in orders and messages and production chaos and trying to figure out how you're even going to breathe. And then it's like the next week, crickets, and things can just feel quiet and feel like unsettling. Orders aren't coming in like they were. Those Rust messages, aren't there. There's nobody like banging on the door like we need something now. And we know January will slow down, but it's still, hits different when it actually does slow down for it. So what we're doing is, that's how we usually plan our January, which now we're retraining ourselves, because now January's look different at owning TRW than before when we were on the production side of it. The biggest mistake in, a lot of people make in January, it isn't that orders are slow. It's just that we don't use that slow time correctly. And excuse me, wow, and we assume that something's wrong, that customers disappeared, that momentum has died, and that February and the rest of the year is already doomed because of how January is starting off. And what happens is that crazy mindset leads to some weird bad decisions being made. And so we've never looked at January as a failure month. It's more of the reset month, and so we use it intentionally, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What to do when those orders slow down, so you don't spiral and slash prices and reset everything and start from scratch because you're just out of fear. So it's not, socialism doesn't mean that it's time to stop and redo. It's just, hey, let's prioritize and go through some things. So, number one, slow orders or data, right? It's not a warning sign or anything. When those orders slow down, a lot of people just will jump to conclusions that, people stop buying. My marketing isn't working. I screwed something up, but, you know, January slowness, it's predictable. Seasonal behavior happens every year. It's not a judgment on your business at all. You know, think about the customer. They just spent aggressively for, weeks, months. Their credit cards are maxed out, and their urgency it just disappeared overnight. Those bills are now coming in, and they're like, hold up. So that doesn't mean that they won't come back. They're just dealing with what they did the last 3 months. Uh, so slow periods are actually, one of the few times that you can really see your business clearly. You're not reacting. You're just observing. You're looking at what's going on. What products did you sell last year without much effort? Which ones required, constant pushing to make sales? Which customers came back multiple times? All that information really gets busy during the gets buried during the busy seasons. But January is a time to reflect and look at that, and bring those to front and center. If we treat January as some crazy fire sale and an emergency, we really will miss out on the insights that we already have, and what they offer. If we kind of treat it as like that diagnostic window, what happens is we'll make better decisions for the rest of the year. So some examples of this is, make her realize that her best-selling items, they weren't the ones that she promoted the hardest. They're the ones that just sold quietly and consistent, even during the slow time. Another one, noticed that, custom orders dried up, but repeat buyers, they still place small reorders, and that revealed what mattered. What are we going to focus on? So for this, let's just look at your business this month, right? And what are three things that January is showing you about your business? You don't have to fix anything yet. We're just noticing. What are we noticing, in our business? Number two. Number two is my favorite. I'm we'll see. I think they're all my favorite, but I think number two is my favorite. You know, skill building in January pays off all year. You know, January can feel super uncomfortable because we're not producing the same way we were the last, quarter. But skill building, that is production. It's just production now on you in your business. This month, this is where improving just, one small skill can save you dozens of hours when things get busy again. We talked ChatGPT on Wednesday. We carried that over in the mentorship community on the different things that you can do with it. You can take the slow time now to invest and learn in those things to really help your business grow. This is the time to learn things that you didn't have time to learn in September, October, November, and December. Maybe it's better design habits. Maybe it's a faster setup. Maybe it's a more clear workflow. Maybe it's just going through your pricing, so you have more confident explanations of that. Maybe it's the time to work on stronger product photos. These improvements, they don't show, an immediate return in revenue. But what they do is they compound just, one thing at a time and adds up, over the year. So, those who use January, to, level up their skills, they don't scramble later on the year because they've already learned that early in there. You know, they're already sharper now than not later when demand returns. That makes sense. Like they know what they need to do. They're working on it. So, some examples of this, is a decorator spent January just improving, the quality and layout of their designs. They remember all the things that they had trouble doing the year before. Glitter, palms, half hour to weed a transfer. Yeah, let's not do that again. So hey, let's lay things out so we don't run into issues like that. It'll lead to, fewer mistakes, fewer redos, fewer, much less stress when we can just, take the time to refine some of the things we already do. And then just, learn that better prep techniques going into jobs, shave minutes off every order and minutes add up. If you can save 10 minutes a day, let's go 12. 12 is an easier number for me. If you save 12 minutes a day, at the end of that week, you will save an hour. At the end of the month, ooh, what's that? At the end of the year, yeah, see how much you've saved, just by 12 minutes a day. So You look at your business, look at what you're doing, look at everything that you have in your arsenal, right? Are you using it all to its potential? No. Very, very few of us are because we're being pulled in multiple directions. We got the laser machine, we've got the embroidery machine, we've got the flatbed UV, we've got the roll to roll UV, we've got the wide format printer, we've got, did I say 3D printer? We've got the 3D printer, we've got, what else am I missing? We've got the vinyl stuff, we've got the run stuff, we got all the stuff. You know, let's just choose one thing, that we really want to improve upon this month. We don't need 5, 10, 20 different things, just one. What's one that we do? I use this time a lot for on the marketing and the growth of the business. There's a lot of courses that get released in January. There's a lot of seminars that are in January. There's a lot of trainings that are in January. And so that's what I take the time to really do that, to invest in ourselves and our business so we can have a stronger end of the year for it. Now, number 3 is where things can get, sketchy for people, because, January can be a cleanup season, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a launch season because, nothing can create stress, faster than, dragging that unfinished business, into a busy season. And January is one of the rare windows where you can, clean up a lot of loose ends without the pressure of incoming orders. You know, um, File setups, inconsistent pricing, unclear policies, outdated listings, and all those systems that I'll fix that later. Anybody does that? Guess what? Later never comes, right? Later never comes. You just keep doing it. You're like, I'll fix it later. I'll fix it later. So unless you like claim January, for it, like, boom, this is what we're going to do. This week we're cleaning up this. This week we're fixing this. I know cleanup does not feel exciting at all. But what it's going to do is it's going to remove that friction that you didn't even realize that you were carrying from last year. That cleaner back end of things makes that busy season really feel easier. Even if volume increases, your systems are in place to help you, smooth that out. So take the time for it. Some examples is a maker finally realized that her design files, finally organized her design files and stopped losing time searching for past projects. I had an order from 2023 that somebody said, "Hey, can we get a reprint on this?" And I'm like, and then I was like, ah, name, boom, who was it? When did we do this? November, boom, pull it up. Oh, look, it was all right there because we set system ups and past to make it easier for things. You know, another shop, they just use January to rewrite prices or rewrite policies on pricing. Are there increases that are coming? Are there things that happen? They expect things to go up. So now it's the time that they look at it. They look at it quarterly. Like, okay, here's where things with it. So they create the policies now, so it saves the stress later on in the year. So if we look at this, what's the action step? Do we have one messy area of our business besides our desk? This is getting cleaned up today. And can we commit to that? No, no, no. Can we? Will we? No, 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 no. Will we? We will commit to just cleaning that up before February. All right. Pretty simple. So we get into 4 and 5. Let's check in and see what you guys are all chitty chatting about in here with it. Uh, let's see. I do have a JPP code, 165PHW2, I believe. If I nailed that off the top of my head, I'm going to be so impressed with myself. So impressed with myself. Let's see. We want work. Let's look and see. I'll type it in the comments there for it. 9PHW2. 9 JP plus. Let's see, JP plus. Did I type that right? JP plus discount code 10%. And that is 9PHW2. Like that's one of the things that's on my list is to make sure that we're getting that promoted. What the hell did I do there? Make sure that we're getting, I can't spell for anything today, discount there, to make sure that we're getting that promoted out there at least once a week for things. So there's that for it. Katrina, good morning to you. Bart went down the Make World rabbit hole looking to see what types of 3D printed sweatshirt would he pencil on. Yeah, I love this. I love that guy, and it works out really well. This weekend is agenda. I gotta clog. Gotta figure that out. Like there's this week has just been wild. So we'll get to it. Pepe Le Pew Pew. Yes, I love Pepe. I love Pepe. January's weird. It's too quiet. It's normal. It's normal. This is the time to focus on your business. This is time to work on your business. This is time. This is time, Jerry, for ChatGPT to call you out. And hey, let's take some of that shelf help, that stuff that we've taken for the last year, and we're going to do it. And we're putting on the shelf. Let's take that down and let's actually put it to work. Let's do it. Right? There are so many. The thing is, I like about this one is because it doesn't have the strings. It makes it really easy just to put logos on it, and that's why I like that one for it. Let's see, Mira Nine. So good, Johnny Nine, Johnny Nine, Johnny. I'm gonna have to watch a little short circuit now. My fiber is petunia, but I think whoa, Renee. What? Renee, what's going on there? Yes, there are, Renee. I'm thinking making some different ones. The grandkids would love them, plus a couple for the shop. They're so fun. They're so fun for it. Are you skilled enough in CAD to design your own? I don't know. Let's see what Barb says. January's kicking with orders scheduled in December. If any downtime, plenty of shop stuff to do, testing laser and embroidery runs, plus all the business verbiage tweaking forms on the website. Yeah. And that's like for us, we knew one, two, three, there's 5 or 6 stores that we traditionally set up in January, and they'll be good for February, March. Go through there, and that's what it is. Meetings. We've already got the stuff squared away for them, and that's part of what today is to clear it up. So right there with you, where we schedule it up, we go through it for them, and then reorganizing, working on software, honing skills, planning out the garden. I just go to the store. I I would kill a garden. I think there. Jason spent most of yesterday with ChatGPT. Not sure who was more frustrated. It with you. It with you. We just got if you one of the biggest things in any of the GPTs that you're in is if you're not sure, you just ask it, like, clarify this for me. Explain it to me like I'm a seventh grader. Like if you have to use crayons, tell me, like, make it work for you. Trying to make sustainable changes in 26, ones I continue to do, not once, but each week, day or month. There you go, Jerry. There you go. Yep, JP plus code we got there. So the reason that they kicked from 15 to 10 was when there was the price increase and the tariff wars, and we haven't. They said it's possible, but it's the code. If they do, it'll just automatically happen, so we don't have to worry about it. So they said start with 10, and we'll see what happens and go from there. Awesome, cutting 3 templates this morning. I love template cutting. We know we're making money with that. Shelf help, and I love it. Right? Am I guilty of that? Number 5 is yeah. I think we all are. Where we've gotten books, where we've taken courses, where we've watched seminars, where we've went places, and where we come back with this big ball of energy of we're going to do this and this, and boom, we just put up there, and we'll get to it one day. We make excuses. Other things are happening, other things going on. We don't schedule the time for it. Am I guilty of it? Absolutely. Not calling anybody out besides myself on that. And Jerry. I'll call Jerry out because she loves it. But absolutely, we'll do that where we have the stuff. I have a few courses that we need to go through and do, but I'm looking at it, it's like, is that relevant to what we're doing now? Is that further our goals for the business on what we want to do? When we have our plan of here, we want to do this. If we want to be 7 figure, 8 figure, 9 figure, where does it want to be? If you want to be 6, whatever your amount is, okay, what's there, what's it take to get back there? What are the things in place? When we're looking at this year, by opening, warehouse retail store, having that together, bringing rhinestone transfers back online, bringing in new employees, trying to not have a job that I'm tied to so we can work on the business, not in the business. Working in the business is a huge time suck for most owners. We don't make the time to work on the business. So yeah. It is it's that time of year. It is that time of year. I love it. All right, let's see. Um, I just it's not necessarily hard to do because it was bringing in, and then you set it on it, you do a little wrap thing on it. I'd actually seen a video on it, and it worked out pretty good. And then I had to adjust settings and change some filament on it. Wasted a ton for that little bit, but it worked out pretty sweet. I'll see if I can find the video. If I can find the video again, I'll post it because I know I'll have to do it if we're going to do it there. Chipley rabbit hole, trying to decide if I can figure it out. Oh, how many stores a year are you doing? We had this conversation in our mentorship communities. It really depends on how many stores you're doing. I say if you're doing a store at least once a month, if you're doing 12 stores a year, it's a no-brainer to go to it because you have that initial fee anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to sign up for it. And you'll have the processing fee that they take out from each order from there. But the ease of setting stores up, the ease of ordering, the ease of the back end of the reports of all of that, I wish we would have did it years or sooner. I really, really do. Rob said, I'd give it a try infusion to create the 3D, but why invent the wheel when I can? There we go. There we go. And it's to know you can do it, yes. And then to realize it's way easier to have somebody else do it or go grab there and adjust what I need to than from scratch. I'm new to your website, like making shirts with rhinestones. What do I need to get started? In fact, um, what I would do is we were looking at it on the t-shirt starter kit. That's what I would look at any of our kits. The kits are going to be, getting you everything you need: rhinestones, flock material, transfer tape. If you had, I'm going to find the um, starter kits. I'm going to go over to starter kits. I'm going to pull that up, and then I'll drop the link in there for that. So that's what I would look at 100% because that's going to get you everything you need to do. Then, of course, here on the YouTube channel, hundreds, thousands of videos that you're able to watch and go through and get the information, to really help you do it because we do that. And then on Tuesday with Todd, we do that every Tuesday night. So you can check in there. Where's the other tab? There's the little blue tab. And we'll put that link in there so you can go check those out. And then tune in on, Tuesday nights because we do run sales and specials on stuff. Totally agree, Barb. I'd also like to sell things without joining each creators group, and that's tough because if you want to sell, in a lot of those, you sell it, you go, you have to join theirs $6, $10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I think I seen somebody that was like $249 a month for their thing, and I'm like, man, how much did you get to sell to make it? It's there. Speaking of shelf help, is there a reading? We have not figured out a reading list for 26, Barb, have we? We really should do that. You know what? I'm gonna post. I'm gonna post a few places. What are your must read? Books for And I don't want it to all be business because we had some good ones in there where it wasn't all business. Yeah, let's work on that. Let's work on that so that we can get that out there for it. ChatGPT wanted me to do something that wasn't possible in Corel, so I sent it a picture to apologize for being wrong. This is the frustration, Jerry. It's like talking to you sometimes. Oh, step. No, it because it doesn't know everything. Then there's times we have to do it. I always think of it as an employee, new employee that's new to the industry. They only know what they've seen or heard or that they're not really sure if the process is there. So we have to train it. We have to train it. We have to train it. Um, I'm cutting rhinestone templates and can't figure out why there's always one hole that doesn't cut. Just one, like in the design, and then it doesn't cut all the way. What do you give me a little more information and we'll see if we can do it. And it says, Renee, I'm printing for fun and stuff for the shop. Yeah, so just grab it and put it in there, right? When you said shop, I thought you meant selling. No, in her, like here, having this near, having these all over the place, it's pretty cool. I need to refine a little because you can see, like here, it looks great, but as you get up on it, it needs a little work on it. But print those out and maybe those would go out in some orders. Maybe they would. Maybe I don't know. I would do that one color and paint that on there because it would save so much time and waste on it. So that way we're able to do it. Brian says, I'm using the 30 hours of driving next week to listen to courses. Yeah, Brian, what are you gonna do with those courses? What are you gonna do? When you're driving, from Missouri, right? Missouri, when you're driving from Missouri to Tampa, you're gonna have 30 hours that you're gonna put stuff in place. Don't lie to me, Brian, because you know me. I'll hold you to it. I'm holding you to it. What is the Design Wizard Pro? That is our software that we use for designing shirts, designing anything really. But it is a good base. That's the best way to explain it. Shortcuts to make your life easier. That's the easiest thing. You need to Corel for it, but it is such the time savings that one click takes, in some instances, up to 20 clicks away to do them with it. And you can go to our website as long as you can get the trial version of Corel if you don't have that, and then you can get the trial version of the Wizard, and so you can try them out for 16 days too. So let's see. I'm just starting the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. What is that? Jerry, we love you. Tampa for the Florida Music Education Conferences. Yeah. In what class? This would be great to see what Brian's going to do. A couple didn't cut through, and a couple didn't cut. A couple didn't cut, and a couple didn't cut all the way through. Creative template and silhouette business. What in imported in Cricut design? Are they showing on the screen that they should cut? And is it in the same spot? Is there other things around it? Like on our cutters, when we've ran into that, it was because of bad spot in the cutting strip, so it wouldn't do it. So we had to move that around there for it. Considering ordering the software to add the Corel Draw, is there an add that is an add-on? We said stuff. I think it's super easy to set up and learn. You're gonna just it's similar to how DAS was. It's similar to how DAS was, but I think it's way better than what DAS is. And a lot of those same things with it. In the version of it, we have plenty of training tutorials that go along with it. Barb said, I did a reading list in ChatGPT, but some of the books we read in 2025. I'm telling you, disregarded these books, including more business, garment industry, embroidery. Love it, love it, love it. That is true, Brian. Software's easy because I learned it. In fact, we were talking the other day, and I'm like, "What is this button?" Like, because there's buttons in it that I'm like, "Have we ever used this?" And nobody had used that button. Like, yeah, what is that button? And it's like, oh, it was used for this in Wizard 2, and it hasn't been talked about since. So we're like, there's a lot there, you know. And it was the brushes button. There's a brushes button, and we're like, oh, all right. Also, creating a list pulling from the 2026 trends. Love it, love it, love it. Ooh, they all showed up and I'm trying to tweak. So if they all show up and it's just like that, check your cutting strip to see if there's any issues with there, or if you're using a mat, maybe readjust it and see if there's any things with that. And Jerry says that the wizard is so much easier to learn than the DAS software, and she's had both. Is the wizard now subscription only for new users? No, the subscription is everybody. There's no standalone version. It's all subscription based now. It also has more educational support than DAS. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. I love hearing that, Jerry. All right, no, we're going super long today. That's okay because we're carrying on the conversation. And I love it. Uh, Number 4, we're going to get back into it. Let's batch content now so we're not panicking later. So, what does that mean? Well, when orders slow down, is it me or does posting also slow down or even stop? Which really creates that, visibility gap right when customers are starting to think again. January really is the perfect time to, batch content without pressure of anything. No trends to chase, no urgency, just setting up, steady and intentional presence. You know, do you need to be daily posting? I feel 100% you do, but some you don't need to do it. Feel it too. What you need is that consistency, and you need that consistency that you can maintain when things start getting busy again. You know, Content created in January, it really can become, the breathing room for March, April, May when things are really picking up. Batching out and scheduling out content now means that you're not scheduling later on when those big orders return. So some examples of this is, a maker batches out 2 weeks at a time. They start that in January and here. I'm doing this, putting it out here, taking a couple hours, scheduling 2 weeks at a time. This is boom, boom. This is the box. This is what I'm doing. So that way they avoid disappearing when that spring season, starts coming in. Another one, use January to photograph, all the products that they have, and that way they can use those photos over and over instead of just the few that they have. So when we look at this, what's an action step is just sit down, take an hour, and just schedule out 1 week of content, captions, images. That's it. That's all you need to do. Just do that with it. Now, number 5. Now is the time to fix systems. Why? Because you're not overwhelmed. When do systems break? They don't break when you're slow. You know, they fail when, volume rises. In January, at the time of year that you can fix them with little consequences. Order intakes, communication, templates, pricing explanations, turnaround times. All of that can be improved now instead of, putting the the piece of gum on the dam later. It doesn't have to be about building these big complicated processes. It's just about removing some of those stress points, before they start to matter again. You know, when systems are solid, that slow season really feels calm instead of scary. And the goal is not to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. Stop striving to be perfect. Start striving to be prepared. Right? That's all we need to do is just be prepared for the things that are going to happen. What's the Boy Scout motto? Always be prepared. Yeah, right? Yeah. Right. So some examples of this is, Maker created, custom reply templates in January, saved on the methodology for the rest of the year. Yep. For this. Here's for that. This is for there. Boom. Done. Another one, just simplified order tracking and stop missing details during busy months. So for this, let's just look at what you're doing. You know, what's one of your systems that frustrated you last year? Just one. And what can we do to fix that? So to recap all this, you know, January. January's a wild month. You know, slow orders, it's not danger, it's information. You know, skill building this month is going to pay off the rest of the year. Cleaning up things this month is going to prevent future chaos the rest of the year. You know, content batching now is going to buy you time later. And fixing the broken systems now is going to make the busy season survivable. So January doesn't have to be, empty because it's slow. It can be very productive if you're strategic. You just have to use it. Now, that's what we got for you. As we go through this, orders can be slow right now, right? Doesn't mean you're behind on stuff. It just means that you're kind of standing in that pause point, and while some makers, use that time to be panicking, we can use that time to be preparing. And we know that February and March will come. That's how this works. And a lot of times that's when, you start to work, you can decide now whether you want to be rushed then for not, having broken systems, or you want to take care of those now. The difference is going to be, how ready are you for it when it happens? So we don't have to use this month to push harder on things we don't know what we're doing. It's just let's work on what was broken last year and setting ourselves up for success the rest of the year. This way it really feels lighter. We can really do it. We can set this month up so the rest of the year doesn't feel scary. That's it. Now, Monday, what are we talking about? Monday, I think we're going to talk about systems in prepping for the year. Let's just build it once and use it all year. So kind of a little carryover from this. Now, let's see. Let's get this on there. There's that. Okay, I gotta. Corey's asking me on file saving and how it works, and that's her. Like right now, we're going through. Hey, can you help with this? I said, go try as far as you can, and when you get stuck, I'll do it. That way, you're able to do it. You're able to see the process of it. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Let's see. I all showed up. The settings. Let's see. Where are we? Starting the book traction. Traction. All right. Let's see what that is. Thanks, Jerry. DAS doesn't even support the software any longer unless you do graphics flow as well. Yeah, that is correct. Hence the need to change for stability and consistency. Yeah, and as long as we own the company, we're going to be here to support it and help everybody out with it and show you the things, and we're going to be what they can't be. Because yeah, right. Speaking of posting content, I'm taking photos and videos. I need to sort them, make posts, and a few reels. I can clip out some of the older content never posted or recreate the post. Absolutely. Yep, as Jerry said, try the trial version. If you never had Corel in the past, it will seem harder to learn because you're actually on two softwares and so on. Too bad at that. Well, once they sold out, that was the thing. When they sold, we knew that was going to happen. There's always potential customers not reached. Absolutely, absolutely. And Jerry, I have Corel. I'm having to maneuver through it with the added software support that makes it easier. I'll look at the trial version. Yeah, try out the trial and then go from there for it. And the wizard really is similar, just easier. I think so too, Jerry. I think so too. Renee, you could use 3D renderings and then use AI software to convert to 3D print files. So you're going to send. Thanks, Barb. Thanks for sending Renee down that rabbit hole. And then Renee learned that rabbit hole and then tell me with it. So, all right. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to get out of here. Mentorship community call starts in 19 minutes. We got that. And then, like I said, we'll be back on Monday. picking out some new designs for. I think we're going to show off. We'll show off more of the premium stones on Tuesday. Not sure on the colors of what we're gonna do yet or which ones, but yeah, no, it is still. We got Valentine's Day coming up. We've got Black History Month coming up. We've got heart disease awareness, and I know a nurse that would like a heart stethoscope, and so we're probably going to do that for her. And so maybe we'll show off some different things that we can do. So make sure to tune in that. All right. Until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Peace, love, press on. We will see you then.